In today's video, we're gonna talk about what foods you should be eating in order to get lean. This is the third episode in the Get Lean by January 1st, 2026. And if you're interested in joining me or learning more about how to do this, follow along with the last two episodes that we made. And this one's gonna be a good one because it's honestly like the bread and butter of dieting and of getting lean is truly dieting. And so what you want to do is, obviously you want to be in a caloric deficit, you want to hit your protein goals, and you want to track everything that you're going to eat for the next 6 months at least to a year, when you start having to reverse diet so that you don't yo-yo and get fucked and get fat later. Okay, so what foods are we going to eat? I'm just going to break it down into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Yes, there will be snacks on this. I know some people might think, that's not a good idea. Why are you even eating breakfast? You should be in mid-fasting if you want to get lean, like whatever, okay? It doesn't matter. This is what's working for me, and I think will work for you if this is the way you like to eat. So for breakfast, let's look at some proteins that we would want to eat. Eggs, whole eggs, just eat 2 of them. You don't need to overdo it. I'm a big fan of like 6 to 10 full-ass eggs, and I have been in the past because of just like the nutrient density and just like how good they are for you and how good they taste. But when you're trying to get lean, you got to cut down because those fats are going to add up and they're just going to destroy your calories. And if they're going to eat them for breakfast, that's going to fuck you up for the rest of the day. So 2 to 3 whole eggs every morning, that's totally fine. And then egg whites to, supply the extra protein, because they're basically like free protein calories, which is dope because they don't have any carbs or fats. And they taste great. They make your scramble look huge and you get way fuller. So that's the breakfast proteins that I typically eat. I eat the same breakfast every time. And then I'll eat some toast. So I like sourdough. I'm really into sourdough right now. And for some reason that shit's just hitting different. So I eat 2 pieces of toast every single day. It's like 200 calories and it's worth it. Gets my carbs, fats, and some proteins in. And some fiber that I am gonna be missing from vegetables that I'm not eating on this diet. And I know what you might be thinking. Maybe you should be eating more vegetables on this diet. Make a big salad so that you can be fuller faster. Honestly, I understand the appeal of wanting to make like really big, nice, massive meals that like make you really full and stuff like that. And maybe down the line, I'll see that. But realistically, the simpler and dumber the diet is, the more likely I'm going to stick to it. And if you're like me and, I'm pretty lazy. And if you're pretty lazy, then this is going to work for you because you're just repeating the same things every single day. So that's breakfast. What do I normally eat for lunch? I have 2 main go-to lunches. Actually, 3, because lunch and dinner are kind of the same. So oatmeal, just like plain old quick oats with protein powder, just like clean ass whey protein powder, whey isolate is honestly the goated food on diets because it's just protein. There's maybe 1 gram of fat with a couple grams of carbs, and that's nothing for the 25 to 30 grams you're gonna get per scoop. And so I don't feel bad about just like deleting 3 scoops of protein powder each day, and that just knocks off half of my protein goal because it's going to be hard to eat a lot of protein just slowly, unless you want to eat like 5 meals a day and then have like 40 to 50 grams of protein every single meal. Instead, I'll have my oatmeal with 45 grams of protein or 40 grams of protein in it with a scoop protein, and that's it. Just plain and simple, super easy like that. The other meals I'll have are lean chicken, well, just all the chicken breast is pretty lean, but no skin, skinless, boneless chicken breast. Cook that up in some spicy stuff. That's the stuff that you like, nothing too like milky or fatty or oily. Just throw it in the oven. Takes fucking 2 minutes to set up and make for the entire week. And my new favorite is ground turkey, extra lean ground turkey. 93.7 is so money. And I just didn't realize how many like nutrients there are in ground turkey. And turkey gets a bad rap. You eat it for Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's dry, sometimes it sucks ass. But honestly, it's so good for you, and it actually replenishes serotonin, which I just found out from some Huberman podcast, which is fantastic to know because that's so good for your body and for especially your brain and gut, like nerve connections is what I learned in that, and how it actually relaxes your vagus nerve. And there's so many things with it, and maybe I'll put the link to Huberman's podcast, but honestly, who cares? Ground turkey is fucking money, and that is basically the replacement from extra lean ground beef. I understand the appeal of if you want to eat extra lean ground beef, just count the calories the same way, but it's just going to be a little bit fattier. And honestly, not to say that fats are evil, but fats just steal way too many calories, especially if you're on a deficit. It's not worth it. Lower your fats before you decide to lower your carbs, in my opinion, okay? I think it's just easier that way, and I think carbs are more satisfying than you just losing fats based on, a spoon of olive oil, and that's just kind of depressing. So ground turkey, extra lean, chicken breast, boneless, skinless, protein powder. Those are basically lunch and dinner. I just swap them all around, and I like it just like that. I'm plain, I'm simple. That's the way I like it. For carbs, I like sweet potatoes. They're just so fucking good right now. I cannot stop eating them. They're so good. You just chuck them in the oven, and they're ready, and they taste so good. You don't even have to add anything to them. Just like salt, pepper, whatever. You don't have to do anything, and they taste fantastic. And the last thing I want to talk about is snacks and kind of late night stuff, because I'm kind of a late night guy. Like after dinner, I like something sweet. And so the sweet thing that I like a lot of the time, or that helps me the most, is these right here, frozen mangoes. I think they save my ass. I finish my night every night basically with a cup of frozen mangoes, because they're 100 calories and they kind of just give me some carbs, and there's something sweet that I love. And you could throw that in with Greek yogurt, like zero fat Greek yogurt, high protein, basically egg whites, but yummier. And then if you're missing protein for the rest of the day, then you can add even a scoop of protein powder. But yeah, frozen fruits are gonna be your friend, especially if you have a little bit of a sweet tooth like I do. And that's not even to say that you can't have sweet foods on this diet that we're doing. It's just that you just have to count it. Whatever you do, just count it. Like, I'll have a Snickers bar. I'll have a Snickers bar, and then I'll eat it. I'll fucking love it, and then I'll put it in my calorie counter, and I'll be like, yeah, all right, 250 calories down the drain. But to me, honestly, it was worth it. Now, later down the line, when I'm trying to get even leaner and calories mean more, I'll probably, have to cut that out because it's just a waste of calories. But right now, that gives me something to kind of look forward to. And it's not a whole ass cheat meal that just like ruins your day by, adding 2,000 calories into, like if you go to like McDonald's or something like that, and that just fucks everything up. But, a Snickers bar, just like after dinner, is perfect for me, and that satisfies my craving for a sweet. And yes, sure, it's more calories and it's kind of fat and carb heavy, which is not ideal when you want high protein stuff. But I usually hit my protein goals pretty early, and if you can do that, then you can save kind of the sweet stuff. So the Greek yogurt, the frozen fruit, and I find that really helps. And yeah, so I'll write down a whole list at the end or on the description of this video. If you're interested in, following along, I left a link to my kind of like shred tracker. So basically your weight, dates, averages. It's just a Google sheet that you can kind of copy and paste. And then I'll just make a list for the foods and fruits that you can eat. And if you can just like kind of stick to the same things over and over again, and we'll talk more about dieting and dieting mentality later on, but I think this will be very helpful, and it's a good start if you just don't know what to eat and you're kind of a noob. And this is what's working for me, so I hope it works for you. Anyways, with that, always remember to rep the set. See you in the next one.